Hello, welcome to another day of working on, yeah, same old, same old. I've gotten a little bit more done since last week. Here we are. Faces taking shape a little bit. I have chocolate chips. Does anyone else eat chocolate chips like this? I got a huge bag from Sam's. And I just like dip into it like every day. I have like 2 tablespoons, which is like, I guess, a serving, but I put them in the freezer so they're cold and so melt in your mouth slower. Delicious. So today's been kind of a short day. I don't know why. I was having like weird dreams and I woke up and it just like makes the day weird, you know? When you wake up like actually we were talking about it the other day, like when you wake up and you are still feel paralyzed, you still feel like you're asleep. Like you know you're still asleep, but you're like trying to wake up and you have that sleep paralysis happening. And it's almost like you can't breathe. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that happened this morning. Which, I mean, it's not like the worst thing that could happen to a person. When we were talking about that over the weekend, like a group of friends and I, like this guy, he's not my favorite person, but he was like, it's like my favorite thing ever is like when you have like that sleep paralysis. I was like, why is that your favorite thing ever? Yeah. Also, I'm trying music this time. So if it's like too loud or like over, like if the music noise is louder than the actual like talking, and let me know if that's a problem for you. If it's not a problem for you, if you'd rather just hear the music. I'm also wondering if I should zoom in on what I'm doing. Let me see what that would look like. Let's see, how do I do this? I have no idea. Here we go. Maybe. No? Okay. I have no idea how to zoom. Okay. Hey. Never mind. Okay, never mind. Now is not the time to figure that out. I don't know if you've ever heard of this artist, but this is The Dream, right? The Dream? Yes. Pretty sure he's from Atlanta. I started listening to his music in high school, actually. Like senior year. We would listen to a lot of like stuff like this. Like I remember Kanye's album like 808s and Heartbeats came out when I was a senior in high school. I think senior in high school? Junior maybe? Senior. I remember I was singing Trick. I think that was junior year. Whatever. Anyway, and like Locked Up. What was not Kanye? Akon! I used to listen to Akon. Got locked up, they won't let me out. Locked up. That's what I was trying to think of when I said that just now. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Um, Rihanna's songs, some of them are written by the Dream. I don't know his real name. I think he like collaborated on some of them, like actually sang in some of them, like Umbrella, like Ella, Ella, A, like her one of her most famous songs, possibly the one that made her famous. He wrote, and then I'm pretty sure he produced most. I don't know in the last like 10 years what's happened, but like when I would listen to them 20 years ago, this was the fact. Like he was producing them. I think now that he is just a producer, but well, T Pain. I used to listen to T Pain. Love T Pain. Saw Lil Wayne. I don't know why I'm like talking about this, but I don't know. It just came up. I saw T Pain, or yeah, I saw T Pain at a Lil Wayne concert. Um, and I will just say T Pain was so much better than Lil Wayne. So much better. This particular concert, it was at, it's not the Dome. What's right next to the Dome? Phillips Arena. And Drake was just coming on the scene. He got booed off the stage, and I will never forget that. Booed off the stage. Now Drake is like cool, like he's good. But yeah, I don't know why. I think because everyone thought that he was like that Degrassi kid still 20 years ago. Yeah, literally 20 years ago. It's May to June. So I literally would have graduated high school like a month ago, 20 years ago. Awesome. Love that. Oh, it's a 20-year reunion. Oh, I didn't get an invite. I wouldn't have gone anyway. And then at another Lil Wayne concert that was at, I feel like it was at Lakewood, Nicki Minaj's first. These is within like 3 years of each other that I had gone to these. Nicki Minaj, um, it was like one of her first performances in Atlanta, and like her mic had all this like feedback, and it was like really high pitched like squealing, and you couldn't hear anything that she was like singing at all. So they actually booed her off the stage, like legit like off, and like they shut the music off, and Lil Wayne came on, and he was like like you know how he does. He's like, this is hilarious. Like I don't know, he thought it was so funny that like Atlanta was gonna boo her off the stage. I don't know. Actually, the girl that I was with, my friend, at the time, completely ruined the concert for me. I don't know. She like I don't know why. I just had like immediately like bad like um feeling. I think we had taken like Red Dawn or something. It's really embarrassing, but it's not illegal. It's illegal. It's a legal drug, I guess. Mood enhancer. I don't really know what you'd call that. But she goes. I think she said something like, "That is so disrespectful towards women." I think one of the songs that like Lil Wayne was singing or whatever. Like, dude, you're here at this concert. Of course, it's disrespectful towards women. But she had said that, and it just like immediately like ruined. It just like ruined my vibe, and I was like unhappy for the rest of the time. Long time ago. So okay, that was today. Also today, what did we do? Worked on this. I watched CrossFit. This is funny. Okay, this is actually something interesting. I think maybe ironic. I don't know, but I've never done CrossFit. I've never thought about doing CrossFit, and like all of a sudden in the last like few months, I've literally just been like obsessed with watching CrossFit. Like the games, the athletes, like I'm following them all, like the female athletes and like a couple of the male athletes. on Instagram and like watching their stories every day and like how they're training for like whatever um, competition. And the competition is weird. I don't know if you know what CrossFit is. I don't really know how to explain it, but the competitions that they do are literally just called workouts. So like they're working out and like getting stronger like while they're competing. But like the level of their workout is like such a high level and it's like really hard for people to complete them. Like and it's hard for people to like complete them like in time. So I think that's like part of it. It's like they're timed more so, like competing against other people doing the same workout. Whoever like does it the fastest or whatever, or like the most reps or whatever it is. Um, it's really weird. Like at first, I wasn't super interested in watching the actual like competitions, and then I started like watching documentaries about the different like athletes, like how they train, like where they came from, and a lot of them are from Iceland. And like now, and like now I'm like excited for this one Sarah Sigmaster. Like she's my favorite athlete. She's from Iceland, and I just want to watch her like compete and like do well. And I don't know, I feel like more. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But like workouts, like that's the competition. That's just so weird. It's like working out, and not everyone can like do the workouts. And you have to be like a really good athlete to be able to do these. I don't know. I'm not on that level. I probably never will be. But oh, I remember why. I remember why I brought this up. So the why I like CrossFit as opposed to like other like sports is that you can be old. Like you can be in your 30s, late 30s. You can be in your 20s and teens and stuff, but like you can be in your late 30s and still be winning CrossFit. Um, so it's like a much higher age demographic, I think. And since I'm gonna be 30 this year, I'm like, yeah, like these are my people my age. Like it's something instead of it's like gives you something to look forward to like what's possible as opposed to just like watching gymnasts who've been like doing gymnastics like their entire life and you're just like, dang, I can never be like that. Or like watching people play basketball and you're like, wow, I can never be like that. Or soccer players or whatever. Just like any sport now that like people like in the Olympics have been competing in this high level for so long. But like you could start CrossFit in a year and then like be really good at it. I don't know. I don't know how. And a lot of people think that CrossFit athletes do like drugs, like steroids. I don't know why I said roids, like steroids and stuff. But they all get tested whenever they do a competition. If you're in the top three, they will test you, and if you do not pass your drug test, then you lose your title, and you are not allowed to compete in CrossFit for like 4 years. So, like some of the people that are like winning all the time. Like I see on like the comments on YouTube or whatever at the bottom of like test them, they've got to be on roids or whatever. But the people that are constantly winning, like, are constantly being tested. So, and the culture in terms of maybe like lower level, but what I'm just watching is like the elite, and the culture of it is just different in terms of like the other athletes. They just really would look down on someone. Like the culture of it is just would really put you down if you are caught like doing steroids. And then I don't know why I'm going on about this, but like, oh man, I forgot what I was saying. Um, yeah, okay. So a lot of CrossFit athletes, they're like the higher level ones, not like just everyday person who like joins the gym down the street and then just like goes like whatever. Like that's not the level that I'm talking. I'm talking about like the people who are in tandem with doing CrossFit, they're competing in like Olympic weight lifting or like triathlons or Olympic swimming or whatever it is. Like they're at that level. It's like equates to like a Olympic level or whatever it is. Um, they are full-time athletes, so they literally just train every day. So like multiple times per day, they are doing training and doing like really, really serious recovery with like physical trainers and I don't know, acupuncture, cupping, stuff like that to recover. These caliber of athletes are also so like intellectually driven and like mentally focused or whatever that it's actually really impressive that they're able to be in that headspace. And I think that's also very impressive that you have to have that mental fortitude to like get where you are. Talk about that. And you can make fun of it. I think it's weird, but yeah. It's okay. So that's what I did today. So I watched CrossFit, worked on this a little bit, and then I left at 3:30, I think, to go to a bar. And I did that. And then I went to Sam's. Oh, I forgot my jar. I went to Sam's and I bought some chips and a really big first aid kit. A really, a Sam size bulk first aid kit, which I'm excited about. I don't have like band-aids. I don't have band-aids at my house. Like I barely have like Neosporin. So I actually haven't dove into that yet, so I don't really know exactly what's in there, but I'm looking forward to it. And the reason that I needed to get the first aid kit was because Dorian, my doggy, so cute, right there, was attacked by another dog this weekend at my family friend's house. He was attacked, so I didn't even realize it, but I like heard it happen, and I was just kept being told that he was fine. Don't worry, he's fine. Don't worry. Like he was inside their like basement or whatever, and I was like garage door, like this was the garage, this is the glass door, and this was the basement. Like he could literally see me, and he has weird anxiety, so it's best if he can see me. So he was in there because the other dogs were kind of growling at him a little bit, and we decided that Dorian would go inside and sit in their basement, and the other dogs could like be out and around and about and like walk around no problem. Well, somehow the other dogs got in there with him, and the owner or whatever was just like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They're fine. They'll figure it out. Like Jack's an asshole, but don't worry. They'll figure it out. It's gonna be fine." And I kept looking back to see what he was doing because, I'm mostly just concerned because he shakes. Like he's shaking. Like he's scared. He's like, "Am I gonna be left here? Is this my life now?" Like he has no idea. And even after like almost a year, he still like thinks he's gonna get abandoned. So it's just something that I know about him, and I'm concerned for his like mental state or whatever because he's like shaking or whatever. And so I'm like looking back there, I'm like, is he okay? Is he okay? And they're just like, don't worry, they're fine, they're fine. I was like, okay. Well, I heard like him scream, and he really doesn't squeal like that unless he's getting hurt. Like the only other, like the most recent time that he's like squealed like that was when he had gotten when he had been bit the previous weekend by another dog, but fortunately that dog was older, so his teeth are like rounded down or whatever, so it didn't actually break the skin on his leg. But anyway, it's like a weird like weird screeching scream or whatever. And he really doesn't make that noise very often at all. He doesn't scream unless he's like crying, like scream crying or whatever. And I like looked back and into the glass door, and it looked like he was fine, and I just left him. And I kept looking back, but the guys were just like, "Don't worry, they're fine, they're fine." I was like, "All right." And that other dog was in there with him, the one that was like growling at him. And I'm like, "How can this possibly be fine? How can they possibly figure it out without like?" They're just like dogs, right? Like they're just dogs. Like the way that they figure things out is like by fighting, right? Like whatever. Anyway, so when it was time to go, I went and got Dorian out of the room, and he was just like sitting on the ottoman, and like the other dog was just like staring at him, like as he was like sitting on the ottoman, and Dorian is just like shaking. He's like, ooh, like, and he looks fine, whatever. And I'm going around to say bye to everyone, and I don't know, I can't remember. One of the older guys was like, "Oh, what's wrong with his leg?" I was like, "Oh, nothing. Like he gets like scratches and stuff all the time. Like we go hiking and stuff all the time. It's like it's not a big deal." Um, I was like, and then I looked, and he like moved a certain way, and I looked, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And he had this huge like gash, like puncture wound gash, like gaping hole on his arm. So like his front left arm is like this huge. It's like if this was his arm, it would be like this big, like in terms of. I mean, that's really big on me, but like for a dog, like for something proportionally this big, like this huge gash, like it's not bleeding, it's just really deep. You can like all of his hair is gone, top skin layer is gone, whatever that second layer of skin is gone, and you can just like see down to like white. I don't know. It's not bone, but like fat. I don't know, muscle. I don't know. But he's not limping or anything, and he was like walking fine, acting fine, everything. But Sheffy, like Amanda's stepdad, like put some Neosporin on him and put like a wrap on him so that he would like just so that we could keep it covered, and he was fine. Like, yes, like I get that wounds heal, etc., etc., and he'll be fine. Like he's not like injured walking or anything like that. Like things haven't really changed. I'm just concerned that now this is like twice in like 2 weeks that he's been like attacked by another dog, and so I just don't want him to be like afraid of other dogs. And I'm thinking it could just be because we're not going to listen to the song. It could just be that because of COVID, we really haven't done a ton of socialization with other dogs. Like we would go to a dog park every single day before COVID happened, and he'd be socializing and interacting normally with dogs. And I think it's just been so long that he's done that he's like kind of forgotten how. Because I mean, he really had only been socializing with dogs since I had gotten him until COVID happened. So I don't know, September, October, November, December, January, February, maybe March. So like 7 months in his life, and he's like almost 3, that he interacted with other dogs. And even then, like when I had first gotten him, I would take him to a dog park. Like he would hide underneath the picnic table, or like he wouldn't leave me, or he would like sit behind me on the bench or whatever. Like he wouldn't. He was. He really didn't understand like how to play with other dogs or how to play at all when I had first gotten him. So it could be that. That could be the issue. I don't know. We'll see. We'll start going to dog parks more often. But for now, I like walking him for his exercise because I get exercise. Yep. What else? So far, I had bars today. Took my 99th class at bars today. It's really quite a big accomplishment. Tomorrow will be my 100th, and when you hit 100 classes, they give you a free pair of socks that says 100 Club on it. So I get free socks tomorrow! Yay! These are some special Special socks, also really expensive socks for how many times I've gone and how many months I've paid for. Oh, and but today we also got, all of us, not all of us, but there was a challenge in the month of April. If you take 20 classes in 30 days, so in the month of April, if you take 20 classes and then like count, mark them, count them, whatever, you get a free tank top. And so I finally got my tank top today. It says quarantoned. Sorry. Very cute. It's just like a black tank top, hair bar. Very cute. Again, excited to have that free t-shirt. When COVID happened, they closed their studio and were streaming their classes online, which was really cool. Because instead of signing up for a class and like going at a certain time, like you could just literally take the class like at 10 o'clock at night or midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever, which obviously I did. So that was really cool. They're still streaming some classes, but I've gone back and started going actually to studio now at this point. They're limiting the number of people in each class, like 6 feet apart, blah, blah, blah. All the precautions are being taken. So it's great. That's another one. Kind of when I was kind of like talking about like CrossFit, like actually getting through these workouts that are like really hard or whatever. Like Pure Barre is another one of those things. Like you don't really think of a workout that you're not able to do. Like when you go to the gym and you like set your weight, like say you're doing like what's it? The legs, the hamstring like curls or whatever. Like you have you're sitting down and you have the machine and your legs are on that thing and you have to like push like around. I don't know, like the hamstring curl. I don't know. Like you set it to whatever weight that you're able to do, and then you do it like however many times, like 25 times or whatever rep number you're at, and then you move on to another, and then you do that. And there's never anything that you're like doing that like you're not able to do because otherwise you just like don't do it, right? Like you're not gonna get on that machine and put 200 pounds on it if you can't do 200 pounds. If you're at 75, you're not just gonna be like, all right, 200 pounds, like let's go, and then like try to like lift 200 pounds on the hamstring curl. You're just not going to. And so Pure Barre is another one of these like workouts of like not being able to do certain movements or like not being able to like stay through it or not being able to do the whole thing. So it's really interesting that like starting off, I would not be able to really make it through the whole thing, like the whole section of doing legs or whatever. Like I wouldn't be able to like make it. Like I wouldn't last that whole amount of time. I mean, now I can, but like before, yeah, it's just really strange to think about that, like falling out of certain poses because you just like couldn't do them. And so like circling back around to CrossFit, like these workouts, a lot of people probably aren't able to do them. I don't know. Amanda, hi! Welcome. Welcome. What are you doing? Drinking wine and preparing for my classes. Awesome. Are you working on PowerPoint stuff for Spanish classes? Never ends. I thought this bag of chocolate chips was never going to end, but I had to go buy more. Like 9 pounds of 6 pounds of chocolate chips. It ended. All right, I remember this one. I don't know what that is. Did you hear, Amanda? Did you hear when I was like talking about CrossFit? Were you here for that conversation? You're like the only person I know who's like tried it and like kind of understands the intrigue of CrossFit. I had like a huge spiel about why I watch CrossFit. Were you here for that? Learning curve for sure. Yeah, I want to try it. So I was looking on like just like a nearby CrossFit box or whatever, like here in Athens, and I found one. I was like, this looks really great, and so I like sent them an email of like the orientation because it's like free orientation or whatever, and I like got the the call back of like come schedule your free orientation. They're gonna do like some sort of like I can't remember. Let me look it up. It was like I'm so bad at remembering things in my stories. Let's see. It was called CrossFit Liberate. Okay, CrossFit Liberate. Get your one-on-one there. And so what they'll do for you to get started is that they'll do a baseline fitness assessment, which I thought would be really cool because I would like to know like to be assessed or whatever. Overview of the training methodology, tour of the facility, specific info on how to train or transform your body, fitness, and lifestyle in record time, and so much more. So I was like, that sounds awesome. So I filled out this information, and they called me to like do my orientation to like schedule one. And then I like looked like the next day or whatever, like how much it costs to get started. And it's like $200 a month. And I was like, no. uh-uh. So I'm not starting CrossFit today or tomorrow. Anyone can do it, but it's kind of hard not to overdo it in the beginning. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Like, because you're not used to that strenuous activity, regardless of like what kind of exercise it is. Like, not being used to like whatever activity that is, it can like injure yourself or something. It's like running. It's like you decide you want to start running, so you run every single day. Like, that's a really great way to injure yourself. They will have you just do body weight stuff. Yeah, like to start off. That makes sense. So, but I'm not gonna start doing CrossFit because I'm not gonna pay $200 for a month. I'm already paying a lot for bars. So, but my gym at school, the gym at school, Ramsey, they have a CrossFit box. So maybe when they open, I mean, you still have to pay for those classes, even though they are at the student center or whatever. You still have to pay for them, which is annoying. But maybe when they open back up, I might do classes there. I'm not sure if it would be the same as going to a normal box, but I feel like the exercise would be the same. Maybe not the environment, but I don't know. Just this last little bit for this color, just this right here, I think. Yeah, that looks like it. That's all I have left for this color. Oh, post my Instagram that I'm live so that people can hang out. I'm gonna do that now. I didn't like that one. Live now. Been live for 36 minutes. That's okay. I'm working on stuff. Don't know if that was clear. So I need some new songs for my running playlist. Do you have any suggestions? What am I doing? Do you have any suggestions for like really like upbeat songs? Maybe just like one-offs or whatever, like singles for certain artists that are high energy that are really good for running, like catchy jams, catchy songs. This is actually what we're listening to, what I'm listening to. I don't know if you can hear it. I don't even know if you can hear that. This is my running playlist. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, no, you can't. I don't know where the microphone is. Oh well, that's weird. I'm not gonna put it that loud though, because I don't want it to be annoying or get copyright. I actually need to go move my clothes out of the washing machine. They've probably been sitting in there for about 30 minutes. I need to go do that. So I'm gonna go do that right now. So I'll be right back. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Ooh. You stay. Maybe you can watch Dorian while I'm gone. Dorian, up! Dorian, up! Come on. In your seat. Up, up. Good boy. Almost. Here. Okay. There you go. Your turn. Can you see him? Hardly. There's your story well. Oh God, doing my laundry. Is that comfortable? I need to face the computer. Oh my gosh, really? There you go. There you go. Good boy, stay there. Be right back. You're still there. There. Good boy. You gotta move now. You gotta move now because I gotta sit there. Oh, yes. Yes, I know. Is that your belly? Is that the belly? Oh, you gotta get down. Can you get down? I know that's probably really comfortable for you. Can you get down? Good boy. Go on. You can do it. Good job. Thank you. You kept it nice and warm for me. Good job. Thank you. All right, back. Well, I feel like my darks, when I do like a load of darks or whatever, I literally have to hang like almost every single thing, like hang or like line dry. I can't. If it's too close to the table, I can't get down. Ugh, there we go. Struggling. Yeah, and I also feel like since COVID, I feel like I'm constantly doing laundry, like way more than I should be since I'm not going anywhere. You know? Also, I've had to buy a lot more activewear, like like loungewear, activewear, whatever, like athleisure recently because I have been staying home so much, and like that's pretty much all I've been wearing. And I actually will like change twice. I'll like put on activewear after I like change out of pajamas, do something, and then I'll have to put a different pair of activewear on. So I wear like 2 outfits of activewear every day. So I had to buy more because I was always kept doing laundry, and I'm still doing a ton of laundry. Oh, wow. At least that's what people say. It's crazy how loud that is, and it doesn't pick up on the microphone at all. But my voice does. Maybe it's the directional. My actual microphone that I would like to use for this future upgrade is in the studio. So whenever we get back in the studio, I'll be able to upgrade my sound quality. Looking forward to that. Stop it. He's licking his arm. Good boy. What is happening? I don't know why. Where is it connect? Where is it supposed to connect to? I'm just gonna put it there. That doesn't seem right. Now it's puffy. I don't know. Whatever. That will complete color number 9. I don't know what I'm going to do not hiking this weekend. I know. We might still be able to go hiking this weekend during the day. I'll have to see what Drew's plans are. He might actually want to go biking, so if he wants to do that, then we can go hiking. But I mean, there's always opportunity for board games if Roman is back in town. Catan? Catan. Did you like playing Catan? I love board games. Still really want to go to Providence Canyon though. Are you aware of the Canyon Climbers Club? Okay, that's two questions. One, did you like Settlers of Catan? Two, do you know what Canyon Climbers Club is? Those are my questions. Yes to both. All right. Oh man, I'm thirsty. Love that song. Embarrassing. I like that song a lot. Yes and no. Okay. So Settlers, yes, definitely have to do that. No. Okay, so Canyon Climbers Club is, I think there's like four. Let me look up on my phone right here. Yay, that's why this is here. Canyon Climbers. I'm surprised that you haven't heard about this because you get a free t-shirt free that you pay for at the end. And I know how you like free that you pay for t-shirts because I like free that you pay for t-shirts. So, all right, here it is, Canyon Climbers Club. So in Georgia, there's like 4 canyons, I think, or 5 canyons. There's 4. So here, this is where they're located. This one's Providence, and then Amicalola, which we've done, Cloudland, and Tallulah. And I don't think we did Tallulah, but I did Tallulah. So to complete the challenge, you have to do whatever the classic trail is or whatever, and you have to get your passport, which they mail to you when you pay for your free T-shirt, stamped at whatever cabin or welcome center when you do whatever the trail is. So I signed up for this. I think it was like $20 or something, and then they mailed me the passport and then some information of like which trails, what trail it was, which I think I have still. I moved since then, since I received them, so I don't know if I still do. But it would tell you like take the stairs up, go down the canyon, and then like stairs back down or whatever it is. And so once you've done that trail, then you go to the welcome center and you get the punch. And like each canyon has a different punch. So, and then when you are done with that, you mail your punch card thing to them, and then they send you back the free T-shirt that you paid for. So, Providence is on there, Tallulah, Amicalola, Cloudland, and we did Amicalola, but we didn't do it like accurately, but we got to the top. Dorian wasn't able to do the stairs, which is why. But also, I didn't see a welcome center when we were there, so I don't know where you would have gotten your passport. I don't know. But anyway, so look into that and let's get a free t-shirt that we paid for. I'd like a goal to do that. I think it would be cool to have that. Okay. All right. So now I'm finished with number 9. So I'm starting number 10. And so I'm just gonna go find where all these greens are. This one. Kind of hard to see on camera, but this green, I'm going to find wherever this is on my map, which is also really hard to see on camera. I'm going to mark those so that I know where I'm sewing. That sounds fun. Yeah. I mean, we've already done part of it, so we should just do it again with that intention of getting the stamps, the punches. I'll be there for you. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there for you. Yeah, I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. This is on my running playlist too. This is called September. It's so good. It's just like such a feel-good song. Typically, I like to reserve songs like this for my actual running, so I don't get tired of them, but worth it. Dancing in September. Wait, I should have this on. All right. That's great. I really just can't stress enough, like, I have no idea what this is going to look like when it's done. If it's going to work out, if the illusion is going to be there. Just like I have no idea. I hope I do, I like hope it will, and like I do my best to spend the time into the planning stages, but I just really never know if it's gonna really hit. Amanda, are you still there? What did you guys do today? I saw something on Instagram, so I think I know what y'all did today, but can you tell? I really wish I knew how to zoom in. I want to see if I can figure that out. What is this called? E-meet, e-meet. Want to zoom in a little bit more so that some of this that I'm like you can totally, as far as I can tell, you completely cannot see that on the camera. So I want to see if it's possible to zoom in a little bit. Sean, what up? Made it. I'm trying to figure out how to zoom in so that you can actually see what I'm doing. Yo, yo, yo. How are you? I am awesome. Eating chocolate chips. That's where it's at. I put them in the freezer so that they would melt in my mouth a little bit slower. Ugh, trying to figure out how to zoom in. How are you? How are you? Let me see. Okay. I'm chill. I just got out of a Zoom meeting. I'm guessing this is for your thesis stuff. Giving a guest lecture tomorrow? That's awesome. Tell me more. Tell me everything. Here we go. How can I zoom in? How can I zoom in? Okay, resolution, configure video. Configure video. Nope. Nope. I don't know how to zoom in. What if I just made it bigger? Does that zoom in at all? No. No, it doesn't. Google how to zoom in. It's funny. Whatever. I'm gonna have to do some more research on that. I'm really disappointed, but okay. Giving guest lecture tomorrow. Yeah, it's chill. I teach from time to time. Awesome. I'm mostly just going to talk about maps and then let them ask me questions. It's an intro class. So are you giving it like on Zoom? Because I'm assuming that this class is going to be online. Yeah, it's going to be on Zoom. My homie is a teacher. I feel like everyone's your homie. Mostly going to talk about my past work in the Forest Service and my publications. Oh, very cool. You're starting your second year, right? Right? So is your assistantship, I'm guessing you have an assistantship, is it the research that you're doing as in the lab, or is your assistantship teaching? Yeah, second year. You're starting your second year. Trying to get Melissa to join too. She worked for NASA last year, and I want them to hear about it. Yeah, I want to. I want to hear about it. I want to be on this in this lecture. Publish 4 papers, and no only research, no teaching. Oh yeah! Congratulations. When was your most recent paper published? That's really cool. Um, y'all should go check out Sean's Instagram. He's been doing a lot of maps recently that are kind of aligned to the Black Lives Matter movement. And so there's one that I really enjoy that it's like all of the where all of the Confederate monuments are located. And they're just like super congested, like packed into like the southeast. It's really gross, but it's just interesting to see that, like have a visual representation. I guess that's what mapping is, but I have 2 papers and 2 maps published. Awesome. Where are the like? How do you? I don't know. That's an interesting thing. Like, how do you have maps published? Like, what makes a map published? Like, how do you qualify a map for publication? I guess is what I'm asking. Does it have to be like peer reviewed? I think it's crazy how many monuments are in the Washington D.C. area. Yeah, I think it's odd that they're kind of all over. I mean, I know. Let me like thinking about my memory of the map is not going to do it justice, but pull it up. Gradients of elevation. I don't know if that was clear. Here we go. Interesting picture that just showed up to Milza. Where is it? Oh, is this it? No. I thought there was a different map that had like them all like super congested. Maybe it was on your story that I saw it. Because I did comment on it, the vomit face. Yeah. I swear, and maybe it wasn't you that posted it. Maybe it was someone else. That literally had the entire country from coast to coast, and then it was just like a ton in the southeast, and then like a bunch like kind of like splattered throughout, like speckled throughout, which is really interesting to think that they're like elsewhere, even in the north. I think it's crazy how many monuments are in the Washington D.C. area. That was the map that you posted, was Virginia. So yeah. Let me look at that again. Yeah, I mean, even just here in Athens, I mean the Memorial Park, which is a park that's in walking distance of my house. They have an obelisk of like whatever Confederate. It's called Memorial Park, and they're memorializing whatever Confederate soldiers from Athens that died in that war. There's the Linden House Art Center, which is literally I have artwork there currently, and the Linden House has memorabilia from the Confederacy. Athens was untouched relatively, other than just like lives lost during the Revolution or during the Confederacy or during the Civil War. Geez, um, relatively untouched. So like the Atlanta burned, but Athens was fine. Um, so the London House is one of the houses that still exists. It's like literally like 6 miles away from here. I could walk there. And that house has like a list of like every soldier from like the counties, the surrounding counties, like Clark County is the county that we're in, like all the surrounding counties that had soldiers that had died in the Confederacy. And it's just like really weird to be memorializing like death. I mean, death. Okay, this is touchy, but like death on like anyone dying is kind of I feel like unnecessary and sad. But like it makes it complicated when you're like memorializing, like maybe remembering a son that died because of war, but remembering them hundreds of years later because they were a Confederate soldier. That's a different story. When Athens, Clark County is predominantly a black county, it's just really insensitive. Still. And then there, like even in like downtown Athens, there's a really big obelisk monument as well. Um, it's really big. I think actually it's been like defaced, if you will. Like I think some people have spray painted it at this point since we were having some protests in downtown Athens a few weeks ago. I don't know if they're still happening, um, but there's all kinds of protests or not protests. There's all kinds of signatures. What is this called? Petitions, not protests. Petitions to get that monument taken out, and it has. They have been even like before this current um, leg of the movement um, started to get rid of that monument. And I think I mentioned this last time, but the Lamar Dodd School of Art, which is the name of my school, like my art school, the building, had like they named like Dooley Stadium after like that coach Dooley. Lamar Dodd School of Art is named after Lamar Dodd, who was like one of the lead people on the Stone Mountain Memorial Project. So if you know what Stone Mountain is, it's a granite, big rock, granite rock. It's really, really big. I'm blanking on what the word is, but it's just a round bit of granite that's been like growing out of the ground over thousands of years, millions of years, I don't know. And they have carved different generals from the Confederacy on it. And so Lamar Dodd actually was ahead of that project, of the carving project. So now I've actually signed it. Now there's a petition to get our school renamed. So it's not named after a supremacist, white supremacist. That'll be interesting. All right, I see you've written some things that have been going on. Submitted it to a journal. You can buy it on Amazon? That's cool. That's really cool. Has anyone sold it on Amazon? Do you make royalties off of that? No, I don't have all of them. I've just done 2 so far. And I don't know what this was about. I used actual skin tones for my BLM map. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, I saw that too in the Black Lives Matter when I was looking at it. Skin tones. Hey, I didn't realize that. Nice. Were you saying that you only have 2 states so far? Is that what you meant? 2 monuments. Yeah. Okay, so it must have been someone else then that I'd seen, I guess, on somebody's story where they had like the whole U.S. From coast to coast of like where all the monuments are. I know there's a lot in Kentucky. I mean, you think of Kentucky and you like immediately just like think of like white supremacy. Um, sorry, Kentucky. Not everyone from Kentucky is that bad. I have a friend that lives there. Smaller the map, less time it takes. Dang, I know that you were like typing this as I was talking, so I'm sure that this was like related to something that we were talking about just like minutes ago, but I forget. Yeah, I think it all should be in a museum, not on the middle of the town. I think it's crazy. The town I just moved away from had a monument taken down last year, and it was really good for the town. Yeah. Uh, in terms of museums, like, the museum has to represent both sides. Like, it can't just be like a Confederacy museum. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the ones in the South are just Confederacy, and they don't like really display any of like the Union side. It's like I wasn't part of it, but like the South lost. Like, I don't know where I was going with that. I make zero money. That's funny. Your map is for sale on Amazon. Oh, maybe that's like if someone were to buy it, would you make money? Yeah. I was having a conversation with a professor. I think it was like the end of my. It was like my right before summer classes started and the fall and the spring session ended, and we were talking about how this was before like a lot of before George Floyd died, et cetera, et cetera. And we were talking about how the South is the only part of America that's ever had to deal with like loss and as because if you think about it, the whole rest of the United States like has always won the war. So they won the Civil War, they won the Revolutionary War, we've won both of the World Wars. So like the South is the only part of America that's ever had to deal with that. And so there's this interesting sort of um, culture that exists in the South to this day that has this like weird sort of like resonant like shame, I guess. And so that was kind of what we are talking about. But it's yeah, the journal makes money. I don't know. I don't know why you don't get royalties if your journal is making money. I guess you just get the prestige of having published something. Okay, so life hack: if you want chocolate but you don't want to eat like a ton of calories, just eat chocolate chips. You get 2 tablespoons and it's only 140 calories, and it's like melty chocolate. Like chocolate chip cookies have flour and egg and butter and well, like a lot of fat, but like this is like really not that bad for you. Life hack. But have you made good progress on your art? Hmm. Yeah, I didn't last Friday. I was gone all Saturday, but I started working on it again on Sunday. And what's today? Tuesday? Yeah, I worked on it a lot yesterday. I was planning on streaming, but I actually kind of just wanted to work on it. I really don't get a lot done while we're streaming. So, but yeah, no, I have. So I think I was doing number 6, and now I'm doing number 10. So that's what I was doing. I was matching like wherever. Ah, it's really hard to see that, but like wherever there was green on this map, I'm coloring those spaces in so that I don't have to continuously look at my reference sheet and I can just work without having to look at it and I know where I'm sewing. And I just completely did that wrong. I was just coloring this one, but it needs to be this one. Love that. That's kind of why I don't get a ton done during the live streams because it's really distracting. Yeah, and there's something else like in terms of the monuments or whatever. Ooh, I could probably make follower emotes for you if you wanted. Uh, yeah, I have no idea how to like. I know that's a thing. I have no idea. You would have to like tell me like what I was supposed to do with them, like how to upload them or whatever. But that would be tight. Like whatever you think, I'm down if that's something that you want to do. So if someone follows you, it goes across the screen. Oh yeah, that's why I have that blank space right up there. That's what that's for. I had no idea. My friend Nathan, she like showed me how to set this up, and I like left that space blank, and I was like, cool. If someone follows me, that will show up. But yeah, no, I haven't set it up. Yeah, tight. That would be tight. I was also thinking that like maybe on chat or whatever, does it show up next to your names? Like who's the follower? Like when you chat, it like shows up as an emote. Does that work? Dude, you're killing it. I don't know what you're talking about. No, it doesn't. Oh, okay. Is that when people subscribe to you, they have an emote next to their name? You have to unlock subscribers. Okay, yeah, I'm really far away from that. I have to have like, as far as I know, my friend Nathan said, I have to have 50 people following me. I think I'm 8, maybe 9. It's okay. Not worried about it. And I have to have an average of 3 viewers um, throughout all my streams. And I think this stream has been mostly 1 to 2. So okay, I'll get there. I'm not like super worried about it. That. And then I think you have to stream a certain number of times, a certain number of hours before you're also eligible. But it just takes time. Okay, but emotes would be tight up there in that little blank spot, which that's what it's for. Okay, so that was what I was gonna say. Another thing about the monuments or whatever, like when the Saddam Hussein monument was torn down, which obviously represented a lot of like oppression for that population, for that country, like there was a ton of positive reaction to that. But here, whenever someone like takes down a monument, and like I accidentally kind of said it too, like defacing, like there's backlash, and it's seen as like destroying property. So there's still that mindset around like kind of unintentional like supremacy that just needs to be addressed within people and in themselves before like real change needs to happen. And a lot of people just like don't want to change. They're just especially in the South. Okay, back to what I was doing. Here we go. I'll have to look up if you do make those, which would be super tight. If I would have to look up how to like upload them and like where to put them and stuff. But that would be cool. I'm also excited for you to do it because like I wouldn't have no idea like what to put as them. Like paint palettes or like pencils or something. I don't know what I would do. I'm excited for what you would do. You're not from Georgia though. I am from Georgia actually, but both my parents were not from Georgia. They moved here. They met in Texas. My dad's from Brooklyn. My mom's from Houston. They both went to UT Austin for undergrad. They got married there. And then they kind of slowly moved over. So then my dad was working on his PhD at Tulane. My mom was doing a master's there, and they like both worked in Mississippi, and then they eventually made it over to Georgia, which is where I've been my entire life. They still live in the same house that I. They live in the same house that I was like born in. Dang, doctor parents. I have my dad. Okay, my dad has a PhD and like 7 masters or something like that. Like, since he's retired, you can actually go to school for free. You can do college for free at a public university in the state of Georgia. So he had 2 masters, specialists, and a PhD. then he like did his whole career. He worked for the National Park Service. Um, he was a senior regional historian for the National Park Service for 20 something years. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go move my laundry. And then when he retired, instead of just like letting it all go away, he's been like going back to school. So he got a religious studies degree, a master's in religious studies. He got a master's in social work, so he's a licensed social worker now, for specifically geriatric and hospice care. But he wasn't able to find a job, so um, he just got a criminal justice master's, and now he's working on creative writing master's. My mom got her specialist in media specialist. She's a media specialist, so she's library sciences. So she was a librarian at a local high school for like 30 years or something like that. So no, fine arts actually is terminal. So the master's is the terminal. So that's the highest offered. Like they don't have anything else after that. The only way to get a PhD in art would be art history, and I am not qualified for that. I also just like need to be forced out of school. I've been in school for oh my god for 10 years. Oh my god, I was like talking about 20 years. It's only been 10 years. I was like saying, oh, my 20-year reunion. Oh my god, no, it's only been 10 years. Like at the very beginning of this, I was like, oh, it's been 20 years since I graduated high school. No, it's been 10. Oh my god, 2009. Okay, that was 10 years ago, not 20 years ago. I'm like red, I think. I'm like so embarrassed by that right now. 10 years. 10 years. And I was like, I didn't get invited to the 20-year. Yeah, because it hasn't happened yet. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. Okay, I remember this because I've literally been in school for 10 years, in college for 10 years. I started in architecture school 10 years ago. Here we are now. But I feel you. I'm so ready to be done. Like I would totally be in school for another like indefinite, but like I just need to be forced to like get out into the world and like actually do something with my education. Hey, I need to go move my laundry though. You guys want to hang out with Dorian? I feel bad for putting him up here again. He's so comfortable in his bed. But like every time I have a snack of these chocolate chips, I get so thirsty. So I think I'm gonna get some water. I will actually be right back. Right back. Might have to change the screen. Be right back. Oh. This is problematic. Let's move this. Also this. Stream slides. There we go. Be right back. You stay in your bed. Stay in your bed. Okay. that. It's really hard to get. It's really hard to get in here. Okay. Oh, hello, Melissa. Hello. Trying to switch her laundry. Yeah. I was telling her that you're an astronaut. Gotcha. Ordering and picking up food soon. Was dropping in to say hi. Hi. Thank you. Are you having pho? Lol, quite the opposite. I didn't know shit about space. I was Earth observing. Oh, I like that. Gotta get some yellow curry. Dude, bubble tea too? It's weird that I'm reading y'all's conversation because I'm not part of this conversation. If they have boba, I'm about to call, but this late in the day, they're usually out of boba. Hi! What movie did you guys end up watching the other night? I guess Friday? Twilight, right? Is there anything? Where are you going? Edgewood. Edgewood is such a dreamboat. Jacob sucks. Okay, so now that we're back on this. What is this? Oh, I just got invited to do a handmade fair in Augusta via Instagram. Cool. Let's see. I don't like doing these things because they charge me. So I probably won't do it. Edgewood. Edgewood. What is her name? Bella. Bella saying Edward. And or does this happen when they're like in the? Oh yeah, I look. I think it's so funny. And like her scent blows at him, and he's like, "Ooh, bomb." She's like, "Oh, I must really smell that." That BO game is strong. Yeah, it must be bad. And there's him just like, I can't even bear to sit next to you. It's so funny. Okay. He sparkles. Though I was thinking about this in the shower the other day, and it is really strange. I think I saw this like one little bit of that movie when like she's having her baby or she's had her baby or whatever, and Jacob's like, oh, oh no, and they're like, what? And he's like, I imprinted or like we imprinted on each other, and they're like upset with Jacob. So I'm like, Jacob, why do you gotta be a creep? Like, just chill. So even though I do prefer Jacob, I don't know why he has to be Edward. I think it's like when it's like they're in Rome and she's like trying to keep him from like going to show himself or whatever, and she's like jumping on him, I think, and or maybe it's like when he's being tortured or something. I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? When does that happen in the movie? Maybe this is it. Bella Sage Edwards. Oh, the beagle. That's cute. Like when I don't know, I haven't seen that movie. I'm not sure if it's the third or the fourth. I don't know how many movies are in the saga, but I think she's like had her baby and they're like holding it and like Jacob holds it or whatever and then like he does something weird and they're just like what happened? He's like we imprinted on each other or something. Just hit the greeny beanies. That's funny. Let's skip a little bit. Oh yeah, they're like celebrating like life without vampires and he's about to go show himself as a vampire. Oh wait. Oh no, she just says don't. I don't know. I want to find the scene where she says his name weird because it's stuck in my head and it has been for years. Oh yeah, that part was kind of weird. In the CGI baby was not cute. Funny. It is a bummer that cannabis isn't legal in Georgia. It's not. I think medically it is. I don't. Yeah, you're right. It's not legal to just like recreationally. But yeah, actually, I don't know. Doesn't count. Yeah, I don't think it does because people are still getting in trouble for having greeny beanies. So I'm pretty sure it's like super successful economically elsewhere, right? Like it's been like a huge, had a huge impact on the economy, positive impact. Is it weird if I ask you if you've gotten it from a dispensary? Is that where everyone gets their weed in California slash the West? Yeah, I do it all the time. It's chill, where you can order it like pizza. Yeah, I was seeing a lot of like ads on YouTube or whatever for people needing like as like side hustles during COVID was like be a weed delivery driver. Completely not something that we have here at all. You get it from the dispensary. Where we live in California, it is the largest producer in the U.S. That's cool. I personally do not smoke or edibles or anything else, and I have not in 5 years, 5 or 6 years. Not for any reason other than it just makes me paranoid. But it could also be the lack of control that there was with it back in the day here. Like, just you never knew what you were getting and what strand or whatever. And I'm sure that like other strands, like when you go to the dispensary, it's like a pharmacist. You're like, I don't want something that's gonna make me paranoid. I don't want something that does this, and like they can hook you up. But like, is that possible? Because I liked getting high when I did, but then I just eventually just got like way too paranoid, and I was like all I did for like 2 years. It's funny. I feel like I'm way more productive now though without smoking all the time. Largest producer in the US. Yeah. I'm trying to think what we have here. Peaches, tobacco. Maybe maybe tobacco is still like really prevalent here. That they don't want it to compete with like the tobacco industry. I don't know. I'm just speculating, but like actually, what movie did you guys watch? Do you much chew up a storm? You just do art and chew tobacco on your porch drinking tea. That's very stereotypical. Can't remember. Shrek 4. I did not know that it had that many. I actually don't like tea. I don't like tea hot, really. Maybe chai. And I do not like iced tea. Law, I'm trying to remember what movie we chose to. But I do sit on my porch a lot. I mean, who doesn't? It's outside. But that is like a thing, like people actually sitting on their porches. And that was like part of my work for a little while was like furniture that was like outside. And it kind of came back to like it's sort of a southern cultural thing of like people putting like couches like this, like indoor couches like on their porches. That was something that was like kind of related to my work. It's not super relevant now, but I have a piece that is hanging, but a lot of the couches that I've collected, I don't know, maybe if you saw my Be Right Back screen. Let me see if I can see that, show you that. Like these couches, these like chairs and stuff that keep popping up in this corner right here. Um, a lot of them I collected because just like driving up the, just like driving, I drove to Vermont. I actually drove to Canada, but I drove up there and I drove not on the toll roads. I drove back roads pretty much all the way up. And a lot of them, I would like stop my car and like get out and go take pictures of people's porches. And like if they had like a rundown, well, a lot of the houses were abandoned. So like a lot of the couches were like next to a dumpster or like at someone's mailbox or whatever, or like they'd been evicted, so like their stuff was like outside their house. So like if I ever would see that, I would just like run out, like I would stop my car and run out and go take a photo of it. Did you take photos of those chairs? Yes, most of them, not all of them. Some of them I've gotten from an archive called like Abandoned Atlanta Archive. I think I haven't been on it in a little while, but there's like an urban exploration kind of culture in this area, not this area, but like in Atlanta, actually really all of Georgia. And they have a website where like people can like take like really high quality photos of the stuff that they see there. And so whenever I'll find like a picture of a chair or something, I'll like take it. But so a lot of these buildings don't survive after they go abandoned, like they get torn down. So like a lot of them, um, the only way to see what they look like is in picture form. And unfortunately, a lot of people will go and, and post them. Or like, we have a big, what is it, like restoration culture of like, Pont City Market is something that we have here that used to be some factory, and now it's been gentrified into a really high end shopping mall. So that happens a lot, and it like completely changes the neighborhood, and it makes the neighborhood like really like too expensive for a lot of people to live in. That like maybe lived there for 20, 30 years, and then they are like, wow, I can't live here anymore. It's too expensive for me, and they'll have to move. And so it's just, I mean, this happens all over the US, really all over the world. But um, that was something that was also really prevalent in my like practice, in my like research for a little while. It's kind of changed since then. But yeah, yeah. So actually, I have a good story. I'll be right back screen. Oh, I missed. It was just right before this one. Oh, actually, that this one was in a schoolhouse in Vermont. I would drive to Burlington's, and I would Burlington from where I was staying. This one was from there too. And there was this like firehouse and schoolhouse kind of combined into one building. And I finally went out and like got it. This was on somebody's porch. I went in to that schoolhouse, firehouse, or whatever, and got that one. This one was an eviction site in Atlanta. I was trying to find the one that I can have a story yet. This was at behind a dumpster at like one of my ex's apartments. This is in a schoolhouse in Clarkston County. Clarkston, something. It's near here. Another school in Atlanta that was abandoned. Most of them are Atlanta. I don't like this chair. Whatever. I don't think. Okay, it's gonna take too long. Take too long to get back to it. But there's one. I don't actually. It's not a chair actually. I have a staircase that I've done in this style, and it was a like sex hotel. So they would do like bondage, um, like weird. Like they had signs on the wall that were like no food or drink in the sex dungeon, like when it had been abandoned, but they still had like that signage up. And yeah, that wasn't a very good story. Yeah, we watched the Grand Budapest Hotel. Melissa had not seen it. I think I've seen that. I think the pacing of it is really interesting, right? That's with Liam Neeson, right? Am I thinking of the right thing? Grand Budapest. Yeah, that's Liam Neeson, right? It's been a while since I've seen that. I've only seen it once. Um, I'm gonna log off and go pick up my food, but I just want to say hi and stop by. Thank you for stopping by. Enjoy your pho. Go pho, can get your pho. Okay. Bye. Thank you. No, you are not. Hmm. I don't know what that was. But it has great color inspo. Yeah, for sure. Haha. Ralph Phineas. Yes, Voldemort. Ralph Phineas. Yes, the voice now that it's coming back to me. Um, yeah, the pacing though, like it has like a really like it's like really really quick and then it like stops and it's like really really quick and then it like stops. Am I thinking of the right movie or am I thinking of something else? I enjoyed it though. I should watch it again. Ralph Phineas. I think I follow him on Instagram too. Actually, Ralph Phineas. He's like a really nice guy. I heard Okay. I heard he was like being interviewed by like some talk show or whatever, and they were like asking him like how much prosthesis he was having done to like his face or whatever, like to get to like the Voldemort, and he was like, really not much at all. Like this is really just what I look like. Oh, it's just funny. He's just a funny guy. Be right back. 3 minutes. Okay. Funny guy. All right. So like speaking of Harry Potter, I am a really big Harry Potter nerd. I'm not necessarily gonna say fan because I feel like there's always a competition of like who's the biggest fan that you can be for like certain things. So I'm not gonna like even enter into that competition. But I will say that I am a nerd because I know a lot about Harry Potter. And where are we? What's happening here? No, this is it. Okay. Um, and so in the last like year, 2 years or whatever, we've I've convinced some of my friends and boyfriend to come play Harry Potter trivia with me. And I think we've gone 3 times. And the first time was when I realized how little I knew about Harry Potter, and so I studied up. And so the second time we went, and we got third place. And then the third time we went, it was actually for my birthday. It was for like me and my friends like kind of joint birthday. We did like a bar crawl where we went to Buckhead, which I hate Buckhead, but we like dressed up in Harry Potter regalia, and we went to Buckhead, and they had like 4 or 5 bars that were like part of the bar crawl, and we would go, and they had on their screens like where they would normally have like football games or whatever playing, they would have answers like the questions of the Harry Potter questions of the trivia game scrolling. So like 1 through 25, the next bar would have 50 through 100, the next bar would have 100 through 20, like 100, 125, and so there was like 200 questions or whatever. And you just had to go to like the 4 different bars or however many it was, maybe 225, I don't remember, to answer a shit ton of questions. And we got second place, and that was awesome. So anytime there's Harry Potter trivia, I'm always like, I want to go because I know a lot about crazy, crazy questions that like people just like really. You had to, well, first of all, you had to have read the book, and I will admit that I listened to them on repeat on my audiobook, like on Audible. I just listen to them all the time. So I know a lot about it. And I always like kind of surprise people. I don't know, that sounds weird. But I always kind of like to surprise people with like my Harry Potter like trivia knowledge because I don't like go out and I'm not like, oh, I'm so good at Harry Potter trivia. Like let me tell you how great. Like I don't brag about it. I kind of just like will let it slip into like conversation. Not really. I don't do that. But like for example, like say someone's like, oh, I love Harry Potter. I'm like, cool. We should play Harry Potter trivia or whatever. And then if there's like questions and I'm like, oh, do you want to do a test? Like, do you want to do a quiz? And I'll like moderate it for them, and or like someone will read it to us or something, and like we'll go head to head. And they're like, they think they know a lot about Harry Potter. They know nothing. Jon Snow. I don't know. I just like to surprise people sometimes because people don't realize. I kind of keep it under wraps, you know, like I kind of keep it a secret. I have Harry Potter underwear, so like I wear Harry Potter underwear. Like no one can see that. No one knows that I'm a fan. And socks, right? Like socks are in shoes. Like people don't know that I'm a Harry Potter fan. This is a Christmas gift from my sister. This past Christmas, my mom gave me a Harry Potter sweatshirt and pair of socks. And my sister gave me this, what is this called? Tervis mug, which is Harry Potter as well. So like all my family members got me like Harry Potter stuff for Christmas here. I think it's actually really easy. Like I am gonna be probably the easiest person to buy gifts for. Just buy me something Harry Potter and I will love it. Love it. Anything Harry Potter themed, I will like it. Easiest person to buy for. Unless I already have it, then I'll be disappointed. Just kidding. Just kidding. Where is this it? No. Is this it? Yeah. Um, Fantastic Beasts though, like that's not the same thing as Harry Potter. It's a Wizarding World, but not exactly the same. I do enjoy Fantastic Beasts. I don't enjoy it as much as Harry Potter. I don't know why. I don't know why. The book wasn't good. Like it was not enjoyable to read that. It's just like it reads like a textbook or like an encyclopedia. So like the book isn't. I mean, the screenplay is. I haven't read the screenplay, but I would imagine the screenplay for the movie would be enjoyable to read. But like the actual like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them book is like it's just a textbook. It's like this chimera is this level dangerous and like this is what it likes to eat and like this is how to tame it and it's just like not it's not enjoyable to read that. It's educational, which I guess is important, but you gotta learn your beast. Okay. Dude, what is the next tattoo gonna be? The next thing I need to do is like get this one shaded. I'm actually having this one removed right now. You can kind of tell it's like a lot lighter right here than it is on this side. Actually looks really different. Super faded here too. It looks a lot different than it used to in terms of like shading and the amount of ink on it, but it's still just gonna take like so long for it to go away. I've only done like 2 sessions, but it hurts really bad. It hurts really bad. Like people ask like, "Oh, I hear it's just like getting a tattoo." Have you ever gotten a tattoo, Sean? Do you have any tattoos? I guess I should ask. Um, it does not hurt like getting that tattoo. So when you get a tattoo, the artist will, it's like needle poking. It's like, it's like a needle constantly poking you. It almost feels like someone's dragging a knife against your skin. Yeah. Okay. I have a half sleeve on my right arm. So, so like the needle, like dragging, it feels like someone's just like pulling a knife through your skin. But there's reprieve, like when they go out and to like get more ink or whatever, like there's breaks that you take and then it's just like a little bit of pain and then like a break, a little bit of pain over a long period of time. But with the laser removal, I haven't done the research and I don't know if this is true or not. So I might just repeating falsehoods. But apparently, what it does, the laser does, is like it heats up the ink in your skin. I don't know. I don't know. That's just what I heard. So it heats up the ink and so like lights it on fire, like like all the way around. There's no breaks. It's just all the way through. It takes like a minute or something, like up to 20 minutes, depending on the size of your tattoo or whatever. Um, but it hurts so much differently and like so much worse. I don't know. It's really, yeah, no, I do not. I do not like it. It's great when it's done, like you're done, it's like a minute and then you're done, but it's just so painful. And then it like hurts for like a couple of days. And so like for a couple of days even afterwards, like you still feel like the shocks of like the it's hard. It's almost like I don't know. I've never been tasered, but like getting like electrocuted or like lasered, tasered or something like in a very like controlled area. I don't know. But I paid $50 for this tattoo in 2008, the day that I turned 18, and I will end up probably spending close to $1,200 to get it removed. Okay. Yeah, so the next one is probably just gonna be this one shaded, and this was like the last one that I had worked on. Yeah. And yeah, I want to get it shaded. The artist that did this one, and he like kind of did the artwork for it. He has the shading on paper. Well, he moved, and I don't have any of his contact information, so I don't know how to get in touch with him. I have no idea where he moved. I can't remember. Tennessee, North Carolina. I don't know. He moved somewhere, and I don't have any way to ask him like what the shading was supposed to look like. So I have no idea. So I actually don't mind how it looks. The only thing that's weird about it is this part is a pathway, and then the shading was supposed to like go into this like pathway, so it had line, and then it became not outlined. That's the only part that I like don't super love. And then he like messed up somewhere. Let me see. I always think about it in weird. I can't. Super awkward angle. I think. I don't know. I can't tell. I can't see it. There's like somewhere that has like this one line. Oh, it's this part right here. That little like straight line right here. If you can see that, was an accident. That straight line. So the shading of that was supposed to fix it, and obviously he doesn't live here anymore. Also, what house are you in? Hufflepuff? Hi. Slytherin? Of course you are. I already knew that just by like knowing you. So what you were saying is no throat tattoos for you. Correct. Correct. No throat tattoos. I'm trying to remove some, not get some more right now. Also, since we were talking about Aaron Carter last weekend, like his face tattoos. Why? Why do you need a face tattoo? I don't understand. Is this scary anybody else? That's so funny. Well, if you're ever in California, my sister can tattoo you. Hell yeah, that would be tight. I need it. I need it. It's on my list. Um, so is your sister a tattoo artist? Does she work in the shop? Is she like apprenticing? Is she like a senior master tattoo artist? That's really cool. So you need to get hella covered, 2 sleeves and everything. Truly, I do want like a full sleeve on this arm. They are really bad. Or Aaron. Okay, did I say this already? He has one that says Melanie, like over his eyebrow. That's his fiance's name, Melanie. And yeah, she is at a shop. No, she's in her first year, but she's good. That's awesome. I have a friend who just graduated from UJ here. She's apprenticeshipping right now. It's taking a long time. It definitely takes a long time to apprentice. I wish I could do that. That's something I would definitely want to do. I was talking to my friend about Erin Carter. She was on the stream. Amanda just walks away from me. Oh, that's his butt. We were like talking about Aaron Carter or whatever. So I was like watching his like whatever video that had come up or whatever, and apparently like someone took a stream that he had already posted and was like reposting their stream and like getting donations from Aaron's stream. And Aaron was watching this, so he was filming himself watching a stream that someone was streaming his stream, if that makes sense at all. And he was like saying like, oh yeah, keep going, keep asking for donos, keep asking for donos. That means donations. I had no idea. And he's like, who the hell are you? You're nobody. I'm Aaron Carter. I've sold 70 million albums. Like, Okay, Aaron Carter, you sold 70 million albums in like 2001. Like that was a long time ago. Like have something else accomplished. He's obviously like really like fucked up like on drugs and stuff, which is super weird because Nick Carter of the Backstreet Boys is like completely normal. Like all of the Backstreet Boys are like basically like completely normal. Like they all have families. One of them, Brian from the Backstreet Boys, like I used to work at this restaurant in a nearby city. It was called Smoke Jack. It was like a barbecue restaurant. And he came in there with his family, his wife, who looked very normal, like not like super pretty or anything. She's like very normal looking. And like their two kids, like super normal fam. But like the Backstreet Boys probably sold way more than 40 or 70 million or however many albums that is. Oh, Aaron. My whole family are artists. I'm the only one who can't draw or paint or anything. I don't agree. I think you're an artist as well. What do your parents do, like in terms of like art, like their artwork, artworks, creative? What is their creative? What are their creative outlets? Master quilt maker. Oh my god, my mom makes quilts too. That is so funny. It's like so nerdy. She's like super into it. It's like all she's been doing for the last 10 years is like quilt making. That is so funny. That was supposed to be number four. Where? What? Four, right? Huh? Yes. Oh, it is. Three, three, three. Oh my god, you're literally talking about my mom. She has her own quilt room as well. So she has this whole. It used to be like our um like playroom when we were kids, and it was kind of just like the bonus room. And so now she calls it her studio, and she has this like crazy like machine that fills like from side of the room to the other side of the room. It's called the long arm quilter or something, and so she can like put these like huge quilts like on this long arm, and she moves the machine to like quilt it like back and forth and everything. That's so crazy. That is so funny that your mom does that too. Yeah. And then for whenever she had first gotten that machine, she was like going to like different quilt shows to like teach people how to use the machine. What is your quilt game like? I mean, I think I have like 4 or 5 quilts. I was talking to my sister about it because she has like 17 quilts. And I'm like, where are all my quilts? I don't have any quilts here. And my mom has like racks and racks and racks of quilts that she's made. I'm like, Mom, where are my quilts? I need them. What's your quilt game like? That's so funny because people always like buy blankets. Like people will go to like Sam's or something and like will buy one of like the really soft blankets from there, and like that's the blanket that they have on their sofa. But like I've never had to buy blankets because I just have quilts. We just like have quilts in our life. Does your sister do cool art like you too? My sister does not make art. She will craft sometimes, but she's not really um she's creative. She's writing a children's book right now. It's really funny because she just had a baby. So she had a baby in February, so the end of February, middle to end of February, middle of February. Um, and so she's pretty focused on that right now, but she's had some time to like write a children's book. It's actually really good. She's asked me, she did ask me to illustrate it for her, and then she reneged on that request because when she was doing research about getting children's book published, a lot of the research that she had read was not to have someone illustrate it for you. So I think that would be really cool to have like a self-published book. She doesn't want to self-publish, but to have a self-published children's book where like I illustrated it and she wrote it. It's really funny. She is creative in other ways, but she doesn't like make artwork. But her husband is really creative too. He painted this like cool medallion on their ceiling. Like he did like a really cool painting on their ceiling in their kitchen. Yeah, it would be really cool. Marianne. I don't know if she's watching. They were secretly watching last week and did not tell me until like days later that they were on the stream. Thanks a lot. I think they're ready to start on this color. I don't know if I have any other green that I need to fill in. Just check here. Oh, here's some. Oh, it's in the way. Here's Nick Cage looking like Trump. Dude, what should my next map be? Any place you want to see? I wonder if you could, well, I don't know what this would look like. You would have to figure out what it would look like. But like, what if you had a map that was also, because, okay, the only reason I'm thinking about this is because I want to see it. But I wanted to see what your sleeve, your half sleeve, is that what you said, your half sleeve on your right arm looks like? Hide your declaration. So I don't know why. It just made me think like I want to see your tattoo. So I wonder if there was a way to like, I don't know, aggregate a landscape into what your tattoo is. I also have no idea what your tattoo looks like. I don't know what that would look like, but I feel like that would be an interesting challenge to think about if that was at all possible. Not trying to get too prescriptive. Hide your declaration. So I was just watching on the news a little bit ago that they have published a book about Melania Trump, and they were like talking about how she's like super secretive and like it took a really long time for them to get any like information about her like verified, and they had sent a whole lot of like fact check, like they sent a lot of information to her team to get fact checked, and they just like completely refused to answer any of it. So like apparently her brand is like being secretive and mysterious. And I was like, that's cool. So I like looked her up to see like actually like what she looked like, and then I heard her speak. She has an accent. She's not like she does not have an American accent. I do not think she's from America. I do not think she's from America. She has completely accent, which I was completely unaware of because I never heard her talk before. I was really surprised. But apparently Ivanka, yeah, she isn't from America. I don't know where she's from. But I didn't know this, that apparently Ivanka, his daughter, and she, Melania, they're like 11 years apart. They were both models. Melania grew up poor. Ivanka grew up rich, so they're like completely not friends. And Melania calls Ivanka the princess, and Ivanka calls Melania the portrait because she doesn't talk. My tattoos don't really go together. I have a lobster, a tooth, an old man, and a boat, and then a lantern. They do not go together. I think you're right. The lobster kind of goes with the boat, and then the lantern, like the man can be holding the lantern, but I don't really see how that could really work in terms of a map, though. So let's think of something else. We talked about Alaska, American tradition, all kind of stuff. What about something like Native American? Like, do you have any like Native American maps? Like, I think it's um, they're kind of left out of a lot of civil rights. they're promised a lot of things that aren't given to them in terms of politics. Like maybe like where tribes are located, that could be cool. Or like the land space of reservations in terms of like where national parks are or something like that. Instagram me photos later. Cool. Yeah, I want to see. I made a map of the Navajo Nation last month because they're all getting fucked on. But that's what I'm talking about. Like they're all getting fucked over, especially with COVID. Yeah, it is so shitty. It's so frustrating. People just do like the bare minimum and then like film it and show it and they're like, look at the great things that we're doing. Or like they're promised so much and then like no one delivers. Yeah, it's really, really frustrating. And a lot of them have really poor living conditions. All right, what else is green? This is green. It's taking me way too long to find out where all these greens are. Go. I think this is the last bit right here. And then we can start this color. Oh shoot, it's 10:42. Oh shoot, I was gonna go walk Dorian. That was why I was eating these chocolate chips because I knew I was gonna go on a walk. Ah, I was gonna get off at 9. It's like 10:40. Funny. That is funny. Well, just keep eating chocolate chips. I probably will have to get off in about 20 minutes though, so that we can go walk for an hour before bed at 11 p.m. I made a map of Navajo. I read that. I've done the Black Hills before, talking about how they got fucked on too. Past your bedtime, unfortunately. Um, Speaking of quilt culture, there is a Native American tribe. This was like a lot of years ago. This is not recent, but they would not quilts, pelts and things like that. They would like knit blankets and like pelts and stuff, and they would burn them. Like they would collect all of this like warmth or whatever into piles, like animal hides and pelts and stuff that was like tradable resources, like, and they would just like set it on fire and burn it as like a show of like wealth and resources, like to other tribes. Like they'd be like, look at what we're doing. Like we don't even need these things. We're just gonna burn them. And that was part of their cultural heritage. And obviously, I feel like that was like in the 20s, like that in the 1920s. Like that's how like recently, not recent this is. Like recent, but not that recent. Um, and it actually led to a lot of like over hunting of like certain. Do you watch the Antique Roadshow? No. I did watch one show. Oh, American Pickers, or was it Canadian Pickers? It was like these two Canadian dudes that would go around like Canada, and go in like people's garage. They would just like pull off into the side of the road and like go and ask people if they can go into their garage and like buy stuff from them, like Americana, but like Canadian stuff. One of the most expensive things on there was a Navajo blanket. It was amazing. Yeah, so that's probably like something along those lines of like that tribe would like make these blankets and then just straight burn them, like huge piles. I learned actually about that in art history. Probably expensive because they're so rare. So many of them got burned. I don't know if it was Navajo though. It was more of it was a northern tribe. Yeah, I think that's it. I got all the greens. Greens are done. Have you watched that show? What? It's like two Canadian dudes, very similar to American Pickers, where they're just like two guys in a van, just like driving to different locations to like pick people's like garages and stuff. Oh god, History Channel. Antique Roadshow was PBS show. It's on Netflix. I can tell you that. I'm pretty sure American Pickers is on Netflix. Let me verify that. Hmm. I don't see it on here. Storage Wars. Storage Wars is on here though. Hell yeah. Love Storage Wars. They don't have American Pickers. Really? Also Gold Rush. Aussie Gold Hunters. Have you seen that one? That one's really good. It's in Australia. Hunting for gold in Australia. I think I like it better than the Gold Rush, the American one. I don't know how you do art without music. Typically, I watch like Netflix shows if I'm doing artwork. I don't know why. I think something like this is so mindless that I need something visual to like listen to. That makes 0% sense. But I don't watch shows, I listen to them and I look up periodically. So I typically like to listen to shows that are like long series, so like 10 seasons or something, so I don't have to look at what the characters look like and I already know like what's happening. I can visualize it. But no, I don't really like to listen to music and do work. I'll listen to audiobooks, just something with words, like yeah, need words. I'll listen to podcasts a lot because it's just people talking. It'd be nice if I had one other person talking right now, so then you guys could experience that same phenomenon. American Pickers. Like it doesn't even matter if it's like super relevant to me. Like I can listen to like random podcasts about just like whatever. Oh yeah, what other podcasts do you get down with? So I listen to Jenna and Julian from YouTube, and then Taco Tuesday. I was listening to Atlanta Murder, the Atlanta Murder podcast. I was trying to pull up American Pickers so I can show you what American Pickers here. American Pickers, but it also says Canada and UK, so maybe it was also in Canada. But this is A&E. I don't know. Whatever. Podcast. Where's my podcast at? Oh, binge mode. I love binge mode. I listen to theirs. They do Harry Potter and they did Game of Thrones. Taco Tuesday. Oh, and then Evan and Caitlin. I listen to their podcast too. They're like makers, so they make like wood. They do like woodworking or like they do like resin projects. They're more like crafty makers. So think it's interesting to listen to their podcast. Jen and Julian, if you know who they are, they're just like comedic, kind of entertaining. Same with Taco Tuesday. So they're a little bit more. Taco Tuesday is a little bit more political, like gently political, if that makes sense. Okay. What other podcasts you should check out for the wild? Okay, I'll look it up. I made a map for them and it's really amazing. Oh, cool. For the wild. For the Wild is an anthology of the Anthropocene, focused on land-based protection, co-liberation, and intersectional storytelling rooted in paradigm shift from human supremacy towards deep ecology. That does sound like exactly something that you would listen to. My niece's map. This last year was inspired by them. Sick. 2014 to 2020, philosophy. Which one should I listen to first? They have a lot. I, I think I was listening to Benjamin most recently. Oh, they have 5 stars. Um, and the female co-star Mallory, Mallory, I can't remember now. Mallory Rubin and Jason Concepcion. They're like from theringer.com. She gets so emotional and she like cries in like almost every episode that it's actually really frustrating to listen to it. But the depth in which they dive into every single like episode. So they do like certain chapters for like Harry Potter. At least they'll do like certain chapters. So they'll do like 5 chapters, and each one they dive so deep into like they talk about like name meaning. They talk about theory. They talk about like Latin roots and like mythological theory. Like I don't know. I think it's really interesting in terms of like for Harry Potter. Elsa. Look up Elsa with the Tungas horse. Okay, that one is good. Cool. I'll listen to that one first. Wow, they have a lot. Elsa Sebastian and the living lands of on loving the last stands of the Tungas. Cool. I'll listen to that one. I'll download it. Tight. Love that. My niece's map was the Tungas. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Tungas National Forest showing all of the timber harvest and the largest national forest in the U.S. Over 600,000 acres of old growth. It's so frustrating. Yeah, so back to what map that you should make right now. I was thinking reservations, like Native American reservations, in relation to national forests and other like national parks, so, like other national lands, and like maybe like seeing difference in scale, like where they're located near them, and like maybe like how big one is in relation to some of the other lands, and maybe in relation to how big like certain cities and stuff are. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's possible at all. But anyway, it is just about 11, so I'm gonna head off, and I will probably stream a couple more days this week around the same time, 7, 8 p.m. But I'll post it to Instagram. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out. Tell Melissa I said hi and thank you. And yeah, send me pictures of your tattoos, and what the maps you do. Smell you later. Bye.